it's the most prestigious F1 race of the year. It is the Monaco Grand Prix, and we've got our predictions.
Happy Pride Month, Lando Norris.
Oh my God.
He's-
God, grant me the serenity, please.
In other news, today I'm trying a new pouch.
Oh, you're back to Zins.
Yeah, Zins, but this is a sour ruby and it's a wet pouch like me. I think this is 12 milligrams. Let's see how they rip.
Jesus.
12 millivanilligrams.
Zin, please, we beg you. We don't need a sponsor, but we really, really appreciate
Cool.
one.
I mean, honestly, I just like to have some free Zins. Do you ever put any of those in your butt?
I think we've been over this on the podcast.
Did I ask that question?
Shockingly. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. What's up, gentlemen? It is probably
Monaco.
the most insane weekend of the year, in my opinion. So
I think with all
I
the
am so
entertainment and fanfare and the value of Monaco, the fair fans, it's weird because it's like, for me, Alex, it's your favorite week. For me, it's like I always had this like hype and I think part of it is around like, a lot of it is the introduction of the entertainment from a media perspective. I really like the build up to the Monaco Grand Prix. I love qualifying in the Monaco Grand Prix. The race for me oftentimes is kind of a whatever. I still watch it all the way through. There are sometimes exciting jolts of things that happen, but by and large, the race usually gets, from the overall fan base, it's not one of the most exciting on the calendar. However, I think this year we could see something a little bit different. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. We talked about this before. Obviously, we have a new regulation. We have a new car. We have a car that's much more nimble. We have a car that is not as wide, not as long as it historically was, which gives certain overtaking opportunities, especially when we talk about deployment of power. So I think we might see something more interesting than perhaps we did with the last regulation set, and where this is typically a track where, we've talked about it before, where if you landed on pole, as long as you don't screw up, you're going to be the race winner.
Unless your team messes you up on strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
Your team messes up on the strategy, you're likely going to lose. But I think this year offers up a little bit of excitement, and the fact that we are in a new regulation set and could make this a little bit more interesting than perhaps it was in years past.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? Do you guys agree with that?
Definitely.
Yeah. 100%.
You go, J-Dub. I got a lot of thoughts.
Listen, I think there's one thing that we're also forgetting, boys. This is going to be the first race in which Mercedes is going to have the compression ratio hack. So that's going to be interesting.
As of yesterday, they were.
Yeah, as of yesterday, it got banned. So
there's
very curious to see how that pans out this weekend. I still think, personally, Mercedes is going to be a bit ahead. I can't see it being a massive disadvantage. I mean, I think that would be a very illy calculated move by Toto Wolff and his team. And going back to the whole Monaco, lore, basically, it's the greatest Saturday of the season, without question.
100%.
Like,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
This is that kind of weekend that I actually pull out popcorn for qualifying, because I know it's going to be scintillating, on the edge, driving.
Dude, come through for quali as well.
Remind me, what time is qualifying on Saturday?
I think it's got to be like 9 or 8 or whatever.
I'm down.
Yeah, it's going to be early.
I'm down.
It's going to be similar to race time.
And honestly, like, I hadn't really given much thought to Monaco, but lately I've been getting a lot of replays on Instagram on Lando's qualifying lap from last season, which was insanity.
Yep.
And I honestly, this is probably the first weekend of the season that I am genuinely excited coming into, because I've been excited about every other weekend. Yes, sure. But I think we're all in agreement that this hasn't felt like a regular Formula One season with the long breaks and everything.
Not at all.
Yeah. So
feels like the COVID season.
It literally,
wild.
Unfortunately,
if I'm not mistaken, that COVID season, the first race of the year, I think was in Austria, something like that.
Actually, I think that's right.
Yeah.
One of the gloomy, rainy race.
One of the Red Bull joints, I think it was.
But no, I'm excited. I'll get into what I think is going to happen with some of the teams later on. But Alex, I know you had a lot to say.
No, dude, it's honestly it's just a plethora of reasons, right? Like we've got the current events, right? The current circumstances that make this a very enticing race. We've got the Mercedes situation. We've got a very tense drama brewing up between, two strong drivers in Mercedes. We've got a Lewis that's got a P2 that, is showing a different form. We've got just so many things, but just back to the race itself and what it represents. It's the allure, right? It's like it's standing where J-Dub is right now in his background and turning around and just seeing a ton of yachts, a ton of like racing culture combined with like high-end aesthetics. Is it really the best track? Is it really the best racing? It's no, but it's the heart of like, where the Formula One drivers live. It's where where they host galas and they do events that promote and foment the Formula One culture. At the end of the day, we have to remember that it's like the sport has become so inclusive in terms of the fanatism, right? And how it's
Agreed.
presented in Netflix. But the essence of Formula One is high-end, rich freaking teams putting the finest and elegant kind of racing into a sport, right? So Monaco embodies that. And Monaco is, for the aforementioned reasons and just a handful of others, just a race that every single driver wants to win. Of course, Max wants to win in his, in his home, and Yuki wants to win. Every driver wants to win home. And part of the reason why these are races that are still long-standing is because of these successful drivers, right? Like, Zandvoort was back in the calendar because of Max, right?
Literally.
But all that aside, you ask one driver after another, and they will always say, my dream is to win Monaco.
Well, I think it's any race. I think it's any driver's dream. I mean, you go back and you have to take into account the current grid that we have has seen different eras of Formula One as they were growing up. Like, I'll go to Fernando Alonso. Fernando grew up watching Senna in a Tolman rip it to P2 and I'm going to argue illegally lose that race.
100%.
The lap of the gods is in Donington Park, but
I was going to say even when Senna has lap of the gods, his most played video is his qualifying in Monaco. In 81.
I think it's like 81 or 8. No. 80.
It's later.
He's already at McLaren. So it's got to be like 88 or 89.
Yeah, it's later in the 80s. I'm almost positive.
Yeah. It's
but it is one of the most wild things to see.
It's
87, not 81. 87.
He gets the McLaren at 87.
87. It's his first year McLaren.
It's one of the literally most scintillating, like, you want to talk about feeling the speed from your phone.
It's wild.
You watch that video and you feel, dude, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
It also helps that it sounds great too.
Oh my God.
It sounds godly.
Like it's
shifting with his right hand, bro, right here.
Bonkers.
This is the craziest thing.
Absolutely bonkers.
And back in the day when cars could really overtake on that track.
Yes.
Because and watching Senna rip through the field and finish P2, like I was saying earlier, like that's what I want to get back to. I would love for Formula One to return to that, but is it going to happen? No. But I do agree with Alex in the sense that Monaco is Formula One. You go to all the destinations around the world that Formula One goes to, and when you think of Mexico City, you think the drinking and culinary culture. You go to Austin, you think cowboys. You go to Brazil and you think carnaval. But when you hear the words Monaco, there's only
Formula One and casino.
It's Formula One and casinos. That's it, dog. And that's what I love about it.
100%.
I hated on the lack of overtaking in the past few years. I think it's valid, but you can never take away.
But at the same time, it's so beautiful that it truly makes qualifying feels like the race.
The race. Yep.
And 100%. Then on top
100%.
of it, the race feels like an extra because anything can happen, even though 8 or 9 of the 10 times pole sitter's going to win, and it's going to be hard to overtake, and you're going to wait for the fuck-ups in strategy, and you're going to wait for certain things. And even when the race is boring, you already had yourself a race the day before.
Yep.
You know
Not
what
to
I'm saying?
I think
mention-
that is truly the importance, because if you were to talk to even the average F1 fan and you say, what do you tune into on a race weekend? Qualifying, a sprint if there's a sprint qualifying maybe, but you're tuning into the feature race and qualifying. Those, if you ask any average fan, that's what they're tuning into. They're tuning into both of those things. And Monaco absolutely delivers on qualifying. And then I think part of it in the race is you hope that there's some sort of strategy mishap or some sort of strategy miracle. Either one of those. You're looking for those things to really change up the race.
Unless you're a Daniel Ricciardo fan, because he's gotten his heart broken multiple times on that track.
Well,
But he won it.
So is Leclerc.
Yeah, I mean, no. Well, listen, Charles. I could write a book on Charles Leclerc's damn bad luck in Monaco, but
both persevered. You only need to win.
Yeah.
Well, I need to win it once.
yeah, I
You
mean,
need to win
dude,
once. It's like the Jerry West story, and you know, any NBA fans out there, dude went up against probably the strongest and most impactful sports dynasty in the history of every kind of sport out there, which was the Celtics of the 70s. I mean, going up against Bob Cousy,
was that Larry
Bill
Bird?
Russell. No, right before the end of the latter part of Larry Bird. Larry Bird was Showtime against the Showtime Lakers. That was Magic Johnson. That was a team that Jerry West.
That was Magic, Kareem Abdul.
But Jerry West recruited all those guys and
Gotcha.
actually built that team right after he retired. But Jerry West, the logo of the NBA, who's widely regarded as top 10 player of all times, went up against the Celtics time after time after time, and Red Auerbach and the Celtics would fucking crush Jerry West. Dude was depressive the whole time, but at the end of the day, he got his championship, retired at his prime, scoring 30 points in the 70s, which is unheard of.
Yeah, it's insane.
You know, and nobody ever remembers his failures. You know, 20,
fair enough.
20, 25 years later, he struggled a little bit, but he won. Lando won, Leclerc won, Danny won. Like, you know, you just you're cemented as one of the greats as soon as you win Monaco. Back to my point. You win Monaco, and it's like nobody takes, like, dude, what was Carlos Sainz's last race win?
Mexico City 2024.
Okay.
That was his last race win.
Yeah, that was a good call. I thought it was China?
No, he so his last two race wins came in that 2024 season. He won in Australia.
Yeah.
Max had that gearbox issue.
Yes.
I think his engine went completely kaput.
Anyway, the point is, who cares?
Yeah.
He hasn't won Monaco. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It is. It's kind of got that same it's like all the guys in the Indy 500 that come to race for the prestige of Indy 500. You're probably you may not have any chance of winning the championship, but if you win the Indy 500, everyone remembers. Look at this year, how much fanfare is as far as the race winner of Indy 500. It's still there's still fanfare. It's been weeks past, and there's still
a whole ass Indy race already happened this weekend, and people are still talking about the Indy 500.
Still talking about that. No one talked about the race from this last weekend because Alex.
No, and then of course, I mean, there's no wonder why Monaco is part of that Triple Crown.
Yeah, of course.
Of like winning the Indy 500, 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the Monaco Grand Prix. So I think it's a great weekend to be a proper F1 fan. I think us as true fans, I think we're really going to enjoy it. I think we'll have the casuals and the brand new fans, which it's okay at the end of the day. Like the fact that they might not get the allure of Monaco yet, that's totally fine. I think that's the beauty of the sport at the same time. So
I think I think part of it too is like the patience with what you're seeing being delivered. I think there's so much hyper focus, and we even see this in terms of like Stefano Domenicali said the same thing. It was like, we want it to be action packed, and we want the excitement, and we want the fanfare, and we want to inject all these things. It's the reason why we have all these sprints. It's the reason why we have regulation changes. But I think sometimes we need to sit back and be patient as fans as well, and understand, like, what do we have in front of us in this particular moment? And Monaco is one of those moments where, again, we talked about
history.
There's so much that's enveloped into Monaco. Alex, you probably articulated it perfectly. We really didn't even need to say any much beyond what you already stated, but it is cemented as like one of the greatest racing events, if not the greatest racing event and racing weekend in history, because of everything that surrounds it. even
Agreed.
outside of the race.
Yeah.
So the things that we can appreciate, and hopefully new fans will appreciate over time, is that it does have its place on the calendar for a very specific reason.
Yep.
And just take it in as it is. That's the one thing I always say about just take it in as it is. Don't go with any sort of heightened expectations. Just take it in and enjoy it for what it is, and you'll like
it's
it.
it's one of those races where you really can't touch it. You can't modify it too much. You can't
You can't modify it at all.
But by too much I mean bare minimum. Like this is a race. I'll give you an example. Singapore, right? I think it's like I think turn 4 or 5. Russell's hit it. Albon's hit it. People like grace it. If you expand 3 inches, you're avoiding all these dramas and accident.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with Monaco. Monaco is a millimetrical, millimetrically precise margin of errors in the corners. In certain corners, there are corners that you have to absolutely ace by margins of millimeters, if not irregular. And that's the whole point of this particular race. And then back to the bigger point. Don't ever dare to put a sprint in Monaco.
No,
you would ruin the weekend.
You would ruin everything that we've just said. Would be moot.
Yeah. That's the one thing I actually really like about if folks are not necessarily always tuning into practice. I think practice in Monaco is really important because it is such a precision-based track, and you'll see how many guys will you see immediately go off into the runoff area. Yeah. Immediately.
100%.
Very first lap. They're all going to the runoff because they're all trying to figure out what is the limit that I can push this to, and they'll just start going to the runoff.
A great example of that, in my opinion, is last year. Because if you go back and you look at the practice sessions before quali, Lando looked good. I wouldn't say he looked out of this world, but he built it up all the way to qualifying. Like he was having a really good, consistent weekend, by little improving in every session. And then you get something like what you got last year, in which he puts in an insane first attempt to pull, and then you have Charles nab it in his last run, and then you have Lando break the track record with the final run of qualifying,
which is absolutely crazy. You're right; it's that precision buildup over time, and I think that's the thing that race fans really need to appreciate, is the precision that goes into it. And I'm hoping the broadcast this year, as it's done in years past, and this is where I'll give the broadcasters and I'll give the cameramen and the producers a lot of credit for, is they show the precision action at Monaco. I do want to pick up where you left off, Alex, as far as like the idea of Monaco and the luxury and everything, the elements that are built around it. And I wanted to segue into this topic and the fact that Gucci is now officially the title sponsor for Alpine starting next year with a $150 million agreement. I think it's interesting because Gucci they've essentially posted losses for 11 quarters straight. And to me, this is we understand what F1 is trying to achieve in terms of audience and engagement. And I think Gucci is very much in alignment with that for a myriad of reasons. Do you think this is a good move by Alpine? Because, by the way, I don't know if you've heard the name yet. It's literally like Gucci, F1, Alpine, something. There's like 4 words to it. Hopefully it ends up just being Gucci and not a combination of the two. But do you think this is a smart thing, one, for Gucci and a smart thing for the team as a whole?
So, Alex, I don't know if you want to go first, but I have from a marketing perspective, I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Corey, I don't know if you know this, but do you know who owns Gucci? It's Kering. It's the main competition of LVMH.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Of Louis Vuitton. Right.
And who has been the most impactful sponsor in Formula One in the last 5 years that you can remember? Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Brother.
Louis Vuitton. Well, as a company overall.
Yeah. Besides Aramco, but
right.
Louis Vuitton has shocked luxury supporters, non-luxury supporters, people who've bought the brand, people who've never bought the brand, people who've probably never heard about the brand, if I'm honest, which however small that demographic is. They have done it so well that they've invited other players within their space. And it's an optimal venue to kind of allude to that, which is, good timing. Obviously, good timing with their announcement. I saw the Gucci Racing. I don't know the acronym or the full name within Alpine, but of course it's a good idea, and of course it's good for the sport. I mean, besides Danny Rick probably wearing a different Gucci bag and to most of his races, I haven't really seen Gucci, but it's within the space. It's within you're selling these dudes they own yachts and they're documenting their yachts. They own planes. They're like the F1 drivers themselves. Of course, it's a great move for both.
Now, I think it is going to be interesting where I feel like Pierre Gasly is very fashion forward and Colapinto is very much he's a Max Verstappen. He's jeans and a hat and the wearable. I think it's going to be interesting. Both of those guys rolling in with Gucci gear, just Gucci'd out. It's going to be awesome to see next year. Total Gucci's.
I think that'd be tight. I think honestly, I can envision like a white tracksuit with like red and green stripes on the side. Dude, come on. I'm not even a Gucci fan. I think that'd be tight.
Here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering two things. One, how ridiculously overpriced is that merch going to be?
Yeah.
And two, how is Formula One going to go about, putting Gucci Alpine out there? Because one of your name sponsors is LVMH, which owns all the other brands that compete with Gucci that are outside of the Kering Group. So, like, for example, Kering Group has Gucci, Balenciaga, a couple of other big Bottega Veneta, Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they're going to go about it because it may ruffle some feathers on the LVMH side. And mind you, Alex just said it himself. We've had races that have Louis Vuitton as a named sponsor.
Right, you see it everywhere.
Tag Heuer is the official timekeeper of Formula One. Tag Heuer is part of LVMH. It used to be Rolex, but Rolex has gone on to be the official timekeeper of the World Endurance Championship. So LVMH is very protective of their brands. And seeing mind you, not just a competitor, but a competitor having a name sponsor privileges.
I think it's very clear, right? I think it's going to be very clear and laid out. If Louis Vuitton is if there's a share of that investment within the teams, if there's in any way directly or indirectly, there probably will be some guardrails. But if not, it just opens a complete new market share for Louis Vuitton. We haven't really seen a lot of the merchandising for the end consumer within Louis Vuitton. It's just a general branding and awareness kind of route that they've taken, which is obviously more than fine until you got competitors. Then you've got terms such as like competitive advantage and market share and all these things. So if Gucci comes in and they're going to start selling T-shirts from Alpine that are going to be white with the stripes, then Prada's going to be like, maybe my red stripe would be really cool.
On a Ferrari, for example.
On a Ferrari, which Prada I think is I don't know if Prada is part of the Luxottica brands and the Ray-Ban and all that stuff. Whatever.
I think from the glasses perspective, they are, Alex.
Dude, I just think they're just opening up a new.
Listen.
If
there is a hotter sport than Formula One from a marketing perspective,
bring the babes back, dude. Bring the babes back.
Grid girls back.
Come on.
Well, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking all the model girlfriends and wives that you always see in the paddocks.
Yes.
Imagine just think about the level of influence that exists there. Also, I think it would be pretty cool to see a bridge banner Louis Vuitton and two Gucci cars riding underneath it. I think that's going to be so. I cannot wait for someone to clip that next year. It's going to be awesome.
So sick. And I want to see other competitors. Like I want to see something besides a Sparco or an Alpine Stars boot. I want to see a Prada boot just for sakes of like. Coolness.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
I want to see the Nike booties that Michael Schumacher rocked
those
back
were
in the day,
sick.
Dude. I want to see other competitors.
Yeah.
There was rumors.
There was rumors
at the beginning of the season of Nike re-entering Formula One.
That would be
through Cadillac.
Clutch.
So clutch. They just got to stop hemorrhaging money.
They need that. No, they need that. They need culture building, bro. They need that.
Yeah.
They
I totally
absolutely
agree.
need that.
Last topic before we get into predictions, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but we were talking a bit earlier as far as it seems like, I don't want to say the general consensus, but there's been a lot of feedback both from drivers and we'll call it Formula One experts suggesting that Ferrari should be the front runner at this particular track. I'm not sure exactly where that comes from, other than I think it's weird to hear that from drivers as far as like Ferrari, it's Ferrari's to lose. I think Ferrari's obviously, I do think that they have as good of a chance as anyone else, but I don't think they necessarily have an advantage. I think the advantage for someone like Charles Leclerc is like that he just knows the track so freaking well. But again, we've talked before, he's had some incredible, he's won, but he's had some bad luck. From
Yeah.
some unfavorable results at the track as well. So what do you guys think as far as, do you think Ferrari has the upper hand, or do you think it's going to be a nice healthy mix of, let's say, the top 3 teams? I don't want to put Red Bull in there necessarily, but we'll call it top 3 teams. That could be anybody's really
Yeah.
from a pole perspective.
I'll be quick. I don't know
always.
where it comes from either, honestly, because as I mentioned earlier, Formula One nixed the straight mode zones for the weekend. And there are a couple of straights in Monaco, like not natural straights, but straights in all. And that's where Ferrari's strongest. That's where it's been strongest all season long. And your one competitive advantage is disappeared for the weekend. So w- I would tend to agree with what Corey's saying. I think everyone's just dubbing Ferrari as the favorite for this weekend because Charles knows the track so well.
Yeah.
Ferrari could have a abysmal car like they did last year. But if they're going to be in the fight for pole at one race, it's going to be in Monaco. And it wasn't just Charles last year.
Yeah.
Lewis was in the fight for the front row for quite a bit during that qualifying session.
Yeah.
So I think it comes just from that, honestly. And I think people are really overestimating the fact that Mercedes is having that compression ratio banned finally. So I think that's where it comes from. I don't think Ferrari's going to be the front runner this weekend.
I just think that obviously people take certain things into consideration, right? The first being if Lewis made that car finally work and boy, did he look good in the end. As good as a Mercedes, not really, but way better than before. Then in a matter of 2 weeks, Charles can probably fix that and whatever he was doing and get on the same wavelength as Lewis. So that combined with, you know, Charles being having the home field advantage, having won there before, having, besides a couple of fumbles, having a lot of chances, bad luck. I don't think it's too crazy to have that combined with the breakdown that Mercedes is having, and then considering it a potential, upside for Ferrari. Are they the clear favorites? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would probably put Lando. I would probably give it to Lando right now as a favorite over Mercedes. If I'm gonna give it to somebody besides Kimi or George.
You asshole.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Asshole.
No,
I know what you're doing. You're an asshole.
I am so serious, bro. I'm serious.
I feel the sincerity. And with that, let's get into our predictions.
Let's do it, boys.
We're about at that point. All right. We're going to, as always, we're going to start with the top teams, work our way down. In terms of Mercedes, who do you give the advantage to in terms of feature race winner? Antonelli or Russell? Alex, we'll start with you. Just toughie.
Yeah. Oh, she got out. Jesus, she got out. 1 second. So sorry. How did she get out? How did she get out?
Dude, you bought a genius dog. Like, that's what they do.
This is the problem here, Alex.
Dude, how did she get out? Like,
you gotta have a dumb
picture. No clue how she got out.
Alex, they're geniuses. I used to have a dog that escaped all the time. That's all the dog did was escape. You could put it in a jail cell and you'd get home and it'd just be sitting out like, "What's up?" You're like, "What?"
Alex, I recommend you just shoot the rest of the episode with her in your arms.
Okay, let's do
She's
that.
so cute. Yeah, we only have to go through predictions, and I'll start it.
No, and also I think everyone's going to forget about our 3 ugly faces and just focus on Monty's beautiful mug. So
probably, probably gonna get it out.
All right, Alex, your prediction.
I'm gonna go with Kimi.
J-Dubs.
All right, I have a bit to say here. I think we're gonna get another Canada moment this weekend. It's a track where inexperience and immaturity can lead to big mistakes, and I think George is gonna. I think he's barely gonna be better than Kimi, but I think it's gonna force Kimi to make some very costly mistakes. That's personal opinion. So I'm giving it to George.
Also gave it to George for very similar reasons. And I hate doing that because I really want to pick Antonelli just because I want him to continue this trajectory that he's on. But there's so little margin of error that you can have at this track, and George Russell is much more equipped, I think, to drive this
He's
track in a
experienced.
conservative manner. I just
Yeah.
feel Russell's got the upper hand.
Now, here's what's going to happen, Corey. You and I are going to start betting on Antonelli, and Russell's going to start winning.
100%, dude. It's
Yeah.
been the opposite. The last week
Yeah.
was the first time I actually picked that correctly, and I'll probably pick this one up. So it is what it is. It's fine. Let's move on to Ferrari. Obviously Leclerc's
Charles.
home track.
Yeah, I don't think we have to dive too much into that one. Charles.
Everybody's thinking Leclerc. God, that would be crazy if Hamilton inches him out. Let's move on to McLaren. Lando or Piastri, Alex?
Lando.
Same here.
Yep. All three of us,
Yeah.
Lando. Oh, this is going to be real exciting for points this week. All right. Moving on to Red Bull. I feel like this is an obvious one.
Max.
Max. Or Hadjar. Okay,
Max. However, Isaac has had some pretty impressive moments in Monaco, especially in that tunnel.
But he definitely does not have the consistency that Max has. And
Nope,
Max is definitely
no shot.
I think this car again is now functioning more suitable to Max and less to Hadjar as even the short part of the season has progressed. It's 100% Max.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
All right, here's the one that it seems to be relatively contentious between all three of us week by week, and that is Alpine, Gasly, or Colapinto.
Gasly.
Colapa. I am riding the Colapinto train.
I would love to, but
Me too, but I also give it to Gasly. I'm definitely and I tried to give a little bit of positive attitude and grace for Ocon as we worked our way into Canada last week, and it ended up favoring Behrman more. So what do you guys think for Haas, Behrman or Ocon?
You know what? Esteban Ocon is a Monaco podium sitter. I am going to go with Esteban Ocon.
Okay. I also go with Behrman. So we've got two Behrmans, one Ocon. Williams, we have Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz. What do you guys think?
Carlitos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody for
Carlitos.
Sainz. Yeah, I think Sainz will definitely edge out Albon in this one. Oh, this is another. I think this is going to be another interesting one for a myriad of reasons, similar to Canada. Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson or Arvid Lindblad?
Lawson.
All right, all three for Lawson. Jeez,
But I have a feeling Arvid's going to prove us wrong, though.
Yeah, I think
hope he does.
think it's going to be close, to be honest.
I think that's going to be the closest team, to be fair.
I am cool with losing 3 points if Lindblad inches out
Yeah.
Lawson. I think that would be awesome. I really
Same.
do. And by the way, I've really, really, really enjoyed what Lawson has been doing.
Me too.
It's not been
cool
talked
to
about
see.
enough. He's really doing an exceptional job at that team.
Yeah.
All right, another one that could be one way or the other. I think probably favored one. Let's talk about Audi. Do we think Bortoleto or Nico Hülkenberg?
Nico, for me.
I think Gabby's bound to have a result.
Same.
Yeah.
I also pick Gabby.
Although experience is...
I don't... That was honestly, that was probably the toughest one for me, just from points perspective. But again, kind of like Lawson and Lindblad, just the adverse for me. I want to see Bortoleto just
Agreed.
Weekend. So
I see where you guys are coming from.
Trying to will it into existence. Aston Martin, we have Fernando Alonso. But here's the thing. Last week we all predicted Alonso, and guess who didn't?
No, but I mean, dude,
Monaco, dude. Alonso.
Dude, it's Monaco.
Yeah,
Alonso.
it's 100% Alonso, and I do feel that this race is not going to be as harsh on the vehicles.
I think he can get the points.
Honestly,
dude, if Alonso,
I'm kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Alonso could get into the points.
Fringe
for real.
10, fringe 9, 100 in that car. I mean, it's Monaco.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's a real possibility of that, and that would be fun to watch. All right, Cadillac, maybe obvious, maybe not. What do you guys think?
Checo.
Everybody's saying.
I actually have something to add on this. I don't know if you guys read on this this past weekend. There's rumors out there
Bottas?
that this may be Bottas's last race.
Yeah, Colton Herta. Is that who they're-
Colton doesn't? Yeah, but Colton doesn't have the license,
He doesn't have a license,
FIA
right?
license
Right.
points yet. So
Let's wrap it up. She's
all right,
pushing.
boys, let's do it.
Alex, what is the your last question?
That's the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, will the pole sitter win? It's a yes or no question. If you get yes, you get 3 points. If you say no, you don't lose anything. But if you guess yes and the pole sitter doesn't win, you lose 3 points. And then we're guessing the pole sitter and the winner for 30 points if you guess and they're both the same, and 60 points if you guess and they're different, the pole sitter and the winner. So let's start with you, J-Dub. Pole sitter, will the pole sitter win?
Yes, I do
Okay.
think the pole sitter is going to win.
Okay,
Okay.
now guess the pole sitter and the winner.
I mean, mine's pretty obvious. I think it's Lando Norris.
Pole?
Yeah,
And winner?
Pole and Dub.
Okay. Corey?
I do not think that the pole sitter will win the race.
That is wild. Bananas.
I don't think the pole sitter will win the race.
You guys are assholes.
Listen, I honestly think, just given all the things that we've talked about,
Yeah.
I have a sense that it's not.
Oh, you think
gonna be a reality
McLaren's
race.
going to have a fuck up somehow? They're going to find a way. They've really overtaken Ferrari in the past. Like,
Corey, what's your guess? Pole sitter and winner.
I think, honestly, I think pole sitter is likely going to be Leclerc, but I think he's going to have. Oh my God, you guys are not going to like me when I say this. I think Leclerc is going to be the pole sitter, but I think this is tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, but I think Russell's going to win the race.
I'm going to go crazy here. I think Max is going to win, and I think Lando is going to take pole. And with that, I say peace because this one's gotta go.
No, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that wraps it up. Thanks everybody for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back at you next week with the
Say
race
bye, Monty.
review. Bye, Monty.
Monty.
You cutie
Bye,
patootie.
Monty.
And subscribe to YouTube and everywhere you can listen to
Subscribe
podcasts.
right here.
And we'll be back at you guys next time. See you, everyone.
Peace.